let's start from introducing ourselves. So, hello everyone, I'm Renata Kalnunene, Marketing Project Manager at Sapneta. Thank you for joining us today. As you know, this webinar is dedicated for our upcoming new release of MedDream presentation and new features demonstration, which will be done by our CEO, v8.4.0, and also today we are going to have our Chief Integration Officer, Artūras Gruodis, who is going to help us with some important improvements demonstration. If you have any questions, please write them in the chat section. In the end of webinar, I'm going to read all the questions and we will try to answer them. In case we can't answer, we will add answers in the presentation file, which I'm going to send to all the registrants with video recording of this webinar. So as you know, this webinar is recording now, and you will receive video recording. So I think Vytautas, maybe we can start with presentation.
Yeah. Many thanks for introduction, Renata. So I'm starting. So I'm very proud to announce the 8.4 version, which will be officially available since next Friday. So now it's already implemented in our pilot hospitals already more than a week. So the final improvements is finished, and latest next Friday will be officially available on our website to download and upgrade your systems. So I'm very happy about this release. Later on, you will see how many features was created. So most of these features was really asked me for many years, and like if you would ask me 7 years, 8 years ago, I would say it's only dream to have them. And finally, they're on our table. So I would mention now the most important for myself is CAD markers, which I believe the first request on CAD markers we received in 2015. And finally, they are full functional available on our product. They are full functional curved MPR, which was also asked me since the beginning, I would say, when we created our product. There also some improvement, significant improvement on the fusion and all of other functions which we will go through today. So as you see, the whole list of the functionality which is created in the 8.4 version fits only in 2 pages. This is a really significant upgrade. So later on, we will go through the detail of this functionality. But as you see, the list of the functions which was upgraded, created, is really significant one. And as later on, you will see my live presentation also for my presentation. But the functions which is created is really amazing. And I believe for many of our partners is waited for many years. So let's start from the CAD markers. As I said, this function, as far as I remember, was always asked by mammography doctors when these functions will be available, when the CAD markers will be presented on our product. So finally, it's created, finally, it's achieved. And not only this function, also the hanging protocols was improved again to support better mammo viewing, plus also thanks to our partners and advisors, we also created special functionality which moves all annotations, all demographical data in a positive side of the view, just not to cover any mammography image part. And also, so this we will later on my live presentation, I also to explain for all our partners how to configure, how to enable what your data would be moved and nothing would cover your image. So another very important function, especially it's partnering with our AI partners and also risk producers, finally, we have also the DICOM overlay presentation, which you can enable, disable. At this point, this DICOM overlay could be enabled, disabled on the particular viewport. So if you don't like to have the overlay, you need to go image by image and select or unselect it. And the selection is in a windowing tab. So this function, which I really amazed and how it was created, actually, I'm really grateful for our R&D team, which worked to create this MPR functionality for the curved functions. Next step after this is achieved, we're going to create also specific dental view for the curved MPR, which demands some extra features. But this is a first step also to dental curved MPR. And the nice feature of the curved MPR, but is also contains MIP, and also you can work like with standard MPR image with the curved MPR image. It's not only static image, you can rotate, you can later on you can see it's a full functional MPR curved view. Also, again, new function is added, the warning about the compressed images. So if doctor opens radiology image, it automatically shows warning if the image is have lostly compression. So all secondary capture images would have these warnings. So they are visible now. I also will show it on my live presentation. So also the improvement to our MPR functionality, we extended how much millimeters could be adjusted. So now the maximum is 600 millimeters. In these users which using our fusion function remembers that the possibility to change coloring was only on our basic MPR function, not on the mist functionality. So the newest version will contain possibility to change the coloring even on mist, and also propagation change would be also allowed. This function, which I really enjoyed using and also preparing for today's webinar. So the improvement in the zoom algorithm. So how you zoom the mammo images, how you show the data. As you see here, for example, down the data is covering the image. So it was like our oldest version worked. So you always needed to move the mammo image to the left to see the image which is covered. So, and with proper configuration, you see now the clear image on top. That's how it should look if you properly configure your account, and then it's nothing covers your mammo images, and you can zoom and zoom out very efficiently. And later on you will see, and I believe most of our users will be amazed about this change, especially these who work with mammo images. I also was very excited to see new fusion function, which we call the fusion with the mist. So it will be found in the MPR view, where you can click advanced fusion. This automatically fuse your series with selected image, and also showing the down other images which is not fused, but you can see immediately the same point in different views, and also plus rotation. So this function you will see is very amazing. Plus we added support of crows here, which is really demanded, in a mist oblique. So when you now in the image and you select the point, you can see the cursor in all views which is in the screen. The same advanced fusion. We also added the spin possibility, so you can spin around with a spinner, as you see a slicer down. This is also very, very nice feature. Also, we change the montage functionality. Still want to point what montage not allowed to take images from mist directly. You need to create a secondary capture in the mist, then you can put secondary capture images into the montage. But also montage allows now to separate the comparison. You see it's automatically marks the comparison images from the original ones. Plus, also you can now program the hotkeys for your montage and also minimize the montage window during the montage creation. Also, because we have really good partners which work in the clinical trials, especially for the new drugs. So this industry led us to really significant improvement of our KO and image saving. So now you have possibility to configure in our settings, but on each time when you click the fast save icon to save key object or annotation, it's automatically pop-ups you the name or comment, so you could add description and automatically save the user which created this key object or description. So it saves a lot of time for the users, especially when it's, as I said, it's some clinical trial or some scientific research. And you like to separate the key object creation, have better search possibilities for them. So this really function allows you to work on really a big R&D project, big clinical trials, and make a big groups of scientists or researchers work on the same databases and create separate savings. Also, this is a very important change because our product became more and more friendly for the multi-screen systems. For that reason, this version contains also panels. So each screen now is as a separate panel, and you can do different layout for each screen, create different setups. So this pushed us to really upgrade our hanging protocols. So this is a second version of hanging protocols, and we expect that next version will contain again significant upgrade of the hanging protocols. So for these users which still not facing any problems with the how the data is presented on the opening, I would not recommend now to really dive deep in the hanging protocols version 2, but these are our partners which is facing issues because we like to open already MPR view under the open and have better layout handling, especially with multi-monitor systems. I really recommend then to apply these new hanging protocols for your systems because you can really significantly upgrade the view of doctors. But you need to know that on the next release, you again will need to do fixes for your hanging protocols because the functionality is not still finalized. So functionality will be upgraded, and because our changing how we handling the screens, some changes, significant changes still coming. So this all hanging protocols which you will create will be mostly valid for 7-8 months, because after next upgrade you will still need to put your fingers in to make the system even more smooth. So Also for nuclear medicine, we created a line for when you spin, you can see the changes. Later on, I will show it's a new measurement which is added for nuclear medicine. We had many also requests, especially as I said, for clinical trials, for research cases, where doctors would like to see custom areas parameters for the computer tomography images, and this version contains possibility for you to create the custom flex poly or area measurements, which contains all data. But I also like to say that all these measurements, all these possibilities must be enabled in your settings. So even you upgrade the version, if no one correct the settings to apply the new measurement, this will be invisible in your version. So please take all our presentation, and you will see each measurement, each setting which must be applied. Like here you see area and flex poly intensity values calculation must be enabled. By default is disabled in the setting, so it means this measurement would not show you these values. So the same was with the advanced features which must be enabled also, which I showed previously. So if your settings is incorrectly configured for the new version, some of the features will be not available for you. So please note it for your support team, and that they could check it. Also, we continuously improving our live share functionality. So we added possibility to display not only the action, zoom, move, pan, rotate, but also measurements. So now the measurements could be also propagated between the users. And also we again improved the integration functionality. So API contains several more functions which could be accessed through the API calls, and this please check in the documentation to have more details how to use these new API improvements and how to access them. Also, for some of our partners, is really important some functionality which we call send to packs. We have application which is under the MedDream, which converts, sends, and stores data to various pack systems. This mainly application used for the sending of data. So how it's looked previously, so you can see my interface, how it's looked the older version, and the new version is fully synchronized with MedDream design, and it's more now familiar to the MedDream. So the MedDream users asked us to create more familiar interface with send to packs to look it's like one product line more for them. Simplicity of usage. So let's move. And in one of the certificates, which I really proud to announce, is 27001, which we implemented this month. We get notification only a week ago, but we passed, and what all our processes is according with ISO standard. So I'm proud that some of our partners even took courage and win some tenders in advance, knowing that we will keep our promises. I speak particularly about Israel, where some of our partners take even some penalties if we would not achieve the certificate. So I'm proud that we achieved during on the time as promised to all our installations and all our processes. So all partners could feel safe, but we changed our processes, how we save the data, how we handle the personal data, and all investigation was passed, and we got approval what everything that we do in our company is satisfy the ISO 27 needs. And let's go to the real system. So I just updated today my system to the newest version, and let's go first, as I presented, to the MAMO view. So let's select MAMO. Yes, so this MAMO I already, now I open it as would be mistake. So as see, my MAMO is covering some patient data covering my view. So how I can do an uncover? So if I click alignment, so as you see, when I click alignment, it's moved all demographic data to the left. Now I like to move from this image, so I again can select what I'm aligning to this border, and automatically I have moved my data in right position. In the bottom, I will not change, just to show how the zooming works. So now I can select the zooming. I select propagate to all zoom synchronization. So now when I zoom, yes. Now when I zoom, you see the top image zooms correctly. So they both aligned, and I can move and propagate. And bottom is unpredicted, so it is impossible would be use zoom synchronization. If now I do the same actions which I did in the top, I align the images, you see that data moved. So now I can work properly like on the professional workstation and zoom everything synchronously and have data. As you see in this particular case, I also have CAD enabled. So I see the CAD markers, they automatically shows me probabilities on the image. So the CAD I can enable and or disable. For example, I checked the CAD, I have my idea, but now I like to work without these markers, so I can select the CAD. Also for these users which use not medical, like myself now on presentation, I'm using not medical screen and my resolution is too small. So some icons is hidden under the icon, so I can extend and see them. So now I disabling the CADs. As you see, now I have clear view on image, and whenever I need, I can back them and show them again. So this functionality is really change behavior of our application. It became really professional workstation for MAMO, and you can work easily. You can change the hanging protocols, switch between them, have a CAD enabled, and also nothing covers your image from diagnosis. So this is regarding the MAMO view. Let's try to open now the overlays, which was also asked by many companies, especially which do lungs overlays and other stuff. So here now I have the overlay. In this case, overlay is just simple marker which shows some findings. So here I can enable or disable. Now I removed, so there is no overlay, clear image. But as I said, you need to go image by image, and on whenever you don't need, you just unmark. At this stage, we created selectable overlays. In the future, definitely it will be possibility to unselect all overlays or select all overlays. But at this point, just to address the function faster to clients, we created the possibility that you selectively control how the markers is showed. Now I go to my most beloved feature, which I dreamed so many years, I would say all 18 years, because as I said previously, I worked with merge systems, and on them this was standard function to have curved MPR, and I really wanted to achieve this by our technology, and finally we have full implementation which allows us to show MPR. Later on, also Arturas will show you another brilliant feature, how the MPR could load automatically without interactions, but I will show you because I didn't configure the hanging protocol for that yet. So how this MPR looks at my screen. So now I create MPR view. So I have my MPR view. I click icon start curved MPR and then select curve. So I go over. Of course, I can select in any view additional point. And the final click is double click. When I double click, I have the view. I can rotate the view over, but I also have possibility to change a view and change the MIP other solutions, and I can also rotate, I can zoom. So this allows me now to work, and of course I can do a windowing also. So this allows me now to work, and I can double click, have the whole image on it and work with that image and rotate. So this functionality was really many years requested by our partners and doctors. So finally this functionality arrived, and I'm very proud to announce that. So let's switch now to another topic which I presented in my presentation. I believe now we will switch to advanced PET. Let's select some PET image. So yes, so for example, I have PET image. Let's shrink to 1. Yeah, this is my PET image. So now I go to MPR functionality, and you see the new function appear, missed advanced PET. So this allow you to click, select the same with whom we fuse. So now I have the as you see on the top, the PET functionality. I can select crosshair either in the image below, either on top of it. I can also change the transparency, change coloring, and this is also the news which we have. Another very big news, for example, I now would change to different view. For example, I would add for example, I would like to create also MPR view for that image. So I'm now selecting just standard MPR view. And now if I take the cursor, so I can show the cursor also through the MPR view. It was impossible before, so now it allows me to to track my points on any view which is in my viewport. Only one limitation we still not created. For example, if I take this now, so as you see, it's not propagating. So from the mist view, I am not able to propagate my point to another views, but if I take cursor on the images which is located on my advanced path, so I can propagate it correctly to the also mist and standard images. This will allow our doctors to know precise points where they are located, and also we expect it will allow to be diagnosis more precise, and this functionality also is very important. Now I would like to show the new functionality also which appeared again. I change the view now and select just standard fusion. If I select standard fusion and now I select mist oblique, so now I have fused image. So, but the fused image contains again the coloring. So I can work on the coloring, I can change, and I can change transparency. So all this functionality now available on the mist. Previously, it was fixed coloring and you was not able to change it and work on that. So this is also big help, I believe, for our colleagues which work on the PET, nuclear medicine, and other. So let's see other presentation part. So now I would jump on the mosaic. Let's open any sample images. Like mosaic functionality. So now I can click and add images as previously. So you can see I can also minimize and put it somewhere to not bother me. But for example, if I would add like comparison study, like we would say here is a comparison, and I would click the images, so they would be highlighted. Yes. So this function we also presented. Yes. Now the saving of for example, I would like to save it. Then I click. So I already configured my MedDream. How so I can put any description on top of the image and click save. Yes, and I click. Now it's saved with my labels. So when I will open, I will see additional labels, who is saved, and I could search in future if it would be mandatory for my clinical trial, research, or other activities. Now we coming to the another feature which I like to pass now to Arthur to present the hanging protocols, and especially this MPR loading at the beginning. So please, Arthur, take the screen.
Hello, everyone. Today I will show you very short presentation about hanging protocols and MPR. Let me share you the screen. Right now, I will open a CT study. and I have hanging protocol configured, which opens automatically the MPR view. I have another hanging protocol which allows you to open 2 series and have 2 MPR views. And the last hanging protocol I want to show you is once I am adding a comparison study, MedDream will show MPR view for the current study and for comparison study. Just few information how to enable hanging protocols. In the system JSON, you need to find a property called hanging protocols and set it to v2. In previous version, it was true or false. In 8.3 version, it was v1 by default. By default, v1 it come in with version 8.4. So if you want to use, please put it to v2 and restart MedDream. Once you do this, you will see that MedDream, you will see hanging protocols v2. So that's how you will know that version 2 of hanging protocols is already available. And if you will open, by default, we have created some hanging protocols. The following layout you will see. We created separate hanging protocols to work with open studies. When the doctor opens studies manually, or you are opening not one study or more studies at once. And there is hanging protocols which works with history. Automatically loads the studies from the history. There are much more nice features with hanging protocols, which might be interesting, for example, with ultrasound. I can open a study and have 4 images shown, and with page down, I can scroll to other 4 and so on. If I would add another image, I can also apply hanging protocols automatically to show, to have the current study in the left and comparison in the right. And with Alt page down, I can scroll through comparison study images, and with page down and page up, I can go with current study. Okay, so this is very short presentation. Once we will finalize them, we will make another session dedicated to hanging protocols, how to implement them, but most probably it will come after next version.
Yes, our plan is we will release the new hanging protocols version, and then we will do, like usual, some technical trainings for all our partners. But in this case, if you really need the functionality which you saw, don't hesitate to communicate to our support integration department to get help. Also read our documentation manuals, and you can enable and try this really significant change in the hanging protocols, which is already available. But if it's still quite okay for your users, I would recommend to wait next release. Then we will do also very big trainings on the hanging protocols, explaining plus Artūras working with team to also create our set of default hanging protocols, which probably cover 80% of needs. So you basically will not need to create own, you just enable selected presets and it will work. Is it correctly, Artūras?
Yes, yes.
So this really good news for all our customers which waiting the performance, and thanks for all our partners which helping us to improve it and to make it more efficient and working faster. So I know, but I even saw some of our partners which really put a lot in this functionality and even in this version. So many thanks everyone for this help. So, Renata, I believe we can move now to question section.
Yes, thank you. So I'm going to read the questions we got in the registration form. Is it possible to configure a local folder to save the reports?
Maybe Artūras could comment better on it.
No, at the moment, it's not possible.
Okay, thank you. So another one, is automatic marking or enumeration of column vertebra possible?
At this point, automatic is not available. It's only manual segmentation on vertebra, but we have discussions with several AI companies which do automatically of it, but still not finalized our integrations with them, and we're waiting any AI company which would love to do that. So we would be open to discuss about possibility provide them our development kit, what we could check how it's to do it. But at this point, in our product is only manual.
Okay, thank you. We got another question from radiologist who is teaching general practitioners in Switzerland, has online training courses and using workstation. So he's looking for DICOM viewer which could integrate into his website. The aim is to create different groups of case studies with which family doctors could test via knowledge. And he will personally grant access to various case groups. And our attendee is asking, perhaps we have software that could be used to create quizzes on various case studies.
So no, we're not creating the software which allows you to create quizzes. So some of our partners really work in that, which is especially do some education. I would really recommend you to take a look on Collective Mind Radiology or even contact them to create own private training materials on the environment or discuss about possible collaboration. But I can ensure that the MedDream could be a big part of the solution which you're describing, because many companies which do the healthcare trainings, quality checks, is using our product in US, in Europe. I know not one company which actually created the learning systems using the MedDream and own applications.
Okay, thank you. Another question is about the hanging protocols. How does a radiologist adjust them on the fly if needed? How do we change default ones to via liking and save them?
So if the system is configured that the radiologist has the right to modify hanging protocols, he needs to go to the settings and go to hanging protocols. And here he can modify them, change the order, create new one, and just press save. Depending configuration, these hanging protocols can be saved only for him, or it can be saved for all users.
Yes, and from another perspective, if the radiologists don't have skills and don't like to dive deep how to configure our hanging protocols, it's always recommended to ask his support person and explain how the order of hanging protocol must be done and what's to be changed, and then support person could change it and save for him. So if he do it once this exercise, so next times he will use the hanging protocol simply as he likes.
Okay, thank you. Another question is about if our attendees can't attend live because we live on different time zone. All the registrants get the recording with video, the link to the video recording, and we can view it later. So don't worry, just register and look for our newsletters later. So
and
I'm
also,
going
Renata, please also show again our YouTube channel for these attendees which forget to register and, for example, by accident didn't register. So it's also not lost because at some time it will appear in our YouTube channel and they can access even if they unregistered. So if they subscribe to our YouTube channel, they will get notification about new videos which appear to our channel.
Yeah. I will put in the presentation the
Yes.
link with behind this question, so all the attendees can check.
Yes. So one extra layer of safety would be if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. So whenever the new announcement comes, you would be informed proactively. So it would be second channel for you to be always up to date.
Yes, thank you. And these are the questions we got from during the webinar. Is it possible to get the presentation in PDF format, for instance, to communicate to our final users the incoming new features? So as I mentioned in the beginning of our webinar, you will receive video recording, link to video recording, and this presentation in PDF format. So you can download it and show to your end users, of course. And another question about panels. Our attendees saw new panel Notion in MedDream available in the toolbar. What is the difference between panels, multi-image layout, and screen layouts?
So Arthur, maybe you can comment because you was the father of panels, I would say so. So maybe you can comment more on this.
Previously, MedDream had layouts and sub-layouts. So in principle, in order to divide screen into two parts, for example, you needed to use layouts and multi-image layouts. Right now, we introduce a new concept of panel, which allows you to have different layouts in the panels. And with multi-image, we have some limitation of functionality. For example, in multi-image layout, MPR view is not working. So this is the main, I think, at the moment, limitation we have with multi-image. And with layouts,
now Arturas in panels, this is no this limitation anymore. So in the panels, you can use the MPR
you can
view.
have panels, you can have layouts, and in layout you can have multiple MPR views.
Okay, so I'm going to next question, yes?
Yes.
I have also seen a spin functionality in the toolbar. I don't know if it will be shown, but I would like to know a little more about this.
Yes, so spin functionality, as you saw in my MPR view, allows you to turn around the 3D image or MPR view and see the MPR view from all possible angles. So this functionality is already introduced when you create an MPR view, or it's always allow you to spin it. And also,
Okay.
if you do advanced functionality of PET, you also can see the spinning image.
Okay, thank you. Does live share feature also include measurements loaded by the main user from a saved presentation state?
Yes, it should. So whenever you show the measurements, you can present it. So yes.
So yes. Which MAMA CAD systems have been tested with MedDream?
So we will send by we could make a list of it. Now I'm not remember from memory, but we could put it on the when we share the document which CAD systems is already tested.
Okay.
But
For
also
the
one more point: if any CAD system is not showing, so we would need just get example of that file, and we would add in a few weeks the support of that CAD, because the basic mechanism of CAD support is implemented. We selected 3 most popular systems around the world, and we expect what most of the CAD system will be presented. But if some is not, so we would be appreciated if you would provide the manufacturer which is not supported, and we would try to add as soon as possible the support for that manufacturer.
Okay, thank you. And next one. For the alignment of a DICOM overlay text, is it possible to have this set as part of the hanging protocols, so the user does not have to manually click to move text away from the images?
Yes, this is typically done through the hanging protocols. As I said, especially for the MAMO view, this must be proper configuration of hanging protocols, which automatically move all the text and buttons in the right sides, so that anything would be not covered, and you could zoom or synchronize the views normally. So with the proper hanging protocol configurations, so this movement of unnecessary data from the image could be done.
Okay, is it possible to sync the crosshair of the current MPR study with a comparison MPR study?
It's possible only in one situation: if you open 2 MPRs and put one extra image, which would on which you would put crosshair. So then you could synchronize, because on the missed MPR functionality, the crosshair is not propagated between the different views. In this version, we plan to enhance it in the future, but in this particular newest version, if you like to propagate the images, I could show also maybe on my view, just to explain. 1 second. So now I'm opening, for example, some CT study, which contain, for example, several series, and we will show, for example, different NPRs. So, for example, if I would put this series, create MPR view, put second series, create second MPR view. So I have 2 images. As you see now, I'm not able to do a crosshair because I'm moving only one selection. But if I change layout to, for example, different layout, like 3 images, and I put one extra image from here, and I use here the crosshair. So now it's propagated between all three views. So for example, if I drop like this, and I select crosshair like layout, so now I can scroll through whole body, being exact points on MPR view. It's possible, as you see, it's a little work left to also create the possibility to do the same on MPR views, but because we don't want it to postpone this very important release, so we limited some functionalities at this point just to not stop for 1 month the release, because some like hanging protocols is really demanded and waited by our partners. But I hope in the very soon future, you will have possibility to propagate crosshair even from the missed MPR view. But now you can overcome it by just putting aside additional 2D image on which you can use crosshair, and you can then move and align the MPR views.
Okay, so I'm moving to the last question. If, for example, a patient have two mammography studies, one recent and one older one, is it possible to open both studies and do comparison of two studies?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
okay.
possible. I will show you. I am opening the current study, and with hanging protocols, I am opening the current study and the prior study. And I can do comparison. Vytautas does not show you, but there is nice functionality where you can enlarge.
We showed it in the previous version, but yes, you can do.
Yeah, and for example, you want to compare with this, and you can do with you can do zooming, you can do windowing, etc. if you wish.
So basically, if your application specialist don't know how to show the functionality, you always can ask our application specialist to do for training for your team, and again, you would be able to present for the doctors the most efficient way how to utilize the MedDream functionality.
Okay, thank you for demonstration. This was the last question we got from our attendees. So I will use the time to invite everyone to our next webinar, this time with our partners, DICOM Systems. And it is going to be dedicated for MedDream integration case study into our partner solution unifier platform. So save a date on May 7th and join us also. Vytautas will be also speaker, and our partners Florent Sinclair also will be presenting and demonstrating their solution. And also, I would like to invite you to visit our booth in exhibition in USA, SIIM. So contact us to schedule a meeting. So we'll reserve time for you. And as I mentioned before, all the registrants will get video recording of this webinar and presentation file with questions, and also we will add information we couldn't answer during webinar. So thank you, everyone. Follow us on our social platforms, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and see you on our next events.
Many thanks, Renata, for organizing everything. So as usual, you are perfect. So many thanks for attendees, and I hope you enjoyed the new version. So see you soon.
Yes, and let's wait for a new release to be published. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice
Bye.
day and evening.